back to Movie Talk. I'm Aaron Warren, and that is Aaron. We have gotten it confused. It's been a long day, long week.
In the house.
In the house. Aaron's in the house. Now, this is movie reference time, not pop culture Papa John's time. And today, we are going to be talking about the legendary, the iconic genius, visionary, M. Night Shyamalan. One of my favorite directors. I just love all his shit. He just like knows how to tell a story, knows how to pull you through a narrative. One of his own creation, though.
I would say he was a fallen angel, because of a series of movies that came out that just didn't really pan out for me. But then now I call him a phoenix because there's a lot that came back where I really appreciated his style. Like Split and Glass, I did not expect to like as much as I did.
But you didn't see Unbreakable in theaters.
No, not in theaters.
You missed just that ride alone. But you've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, just that. Yeah, he says as if I'm supposed to. Aaron is Gen Z, y'all. So let's not pretend to get pretentious here, as if you've got some. Oh Jesus. I guess I am. Oh, brightness. Oh jeez. There we go. So we've been trying to bump these out. I want to say we'll go over movie news. If you're not familiar with this format, we introduce ourselves, and then we talk about industry news. We talk about what we're watching. I stump Aaron on 1,000,001 movie quotes because he just doesn't get them, and then we hop into the movie discussion. So I guess we go into movie news, we probably should think about doing something maybe not so time sensitive, because by the time this podcast video reaches people, that movie's already out. Like, what do you give it? Your breaking news on something? Yeah, of course we knew this person could be a director. Aaron.
That's why I like to think. That's why I like to think we could use the news section as like a jumping off point. Whatever it is, we're going to talk about what we want out of this industry, and maybe in the future, whenever this movie comes out, or et cetera, whatever, it will be the same, different, or not even close.
What's hot and happening? What's going on Friendster? What are people talking about on MySpace?
This one's more up to the company. This is us holding them to their words, saying Spider-Verse 2 is going to be, the animation will be even more visually dazzling than the first.
That is a bold statement to make.
That is a high bar.
That is.
Because it's so unique. What did you think about like companies kind of patenting their own animation style?
I'm okay with it. It's like an artist's signature, right? Like I can see people trying to make movies in their style for sure. It was so successful and so fucking well done that that was the last time I had. I don't really know when the last time I had that much fun in the theater was.
Yeah, the animation was just on its own level. I don't know. I think at first I had a problem with companies trying to really own it that much, but I guess I didn't think of it that way because, then it would flood the market with just movies that looked exactly like Spider-Verse, and it just get nauseating.
I'm okay with that, and that might be the direction where we're heading. As I'm reading news myself, it's talking about like this second wave. Let's be honest, we're not even out of the first wave. The United States never even flattened the curve because we're a country full of fucking morons.
And Karens.
And Karens. Yeah, my God. Oh, let's not talk. Okay, this is movie talk.
A lot of frustrated memes.
Yeah, definitely a lot of frustrated memes. I'd imagine in the edit, this is the part where you cut in some Karen memes or something. Sink. But the industry, right? They were doing limited launch plans on some studios, and now due to the second wave, like it's probably gonna throw a wrench into all those works, because like it's getting pretty serious out there. No one wants to really risk it. Yeah. Do you want your studio to be a trace point of like a hotbed? Like it's not really funny, but like stunt drivers die on set or get injured and maimed, like that sucks. But like, it's a whole new level of suck if this Warner Brothers Lot B was like the spreading of the second wave of the epidemic in LA.
Yeah, it's just the epicenter.
Yeah. Jesus. So maybe more Spider-Verse movies. Who knows?
I want more of those for sure. I think I'm okay with them taking the animation just so that way I don't get tired of it too quickly. You know what I mean? I want to appreciate it in its prime form, and it was used so well with everyone in
I
that movie.
I appreciate the fact that they incorporated the memes in there, like that chef's kiss. Like you can't make a movie like that and not uh, be contemporary, I guess, in like the common or like Spider Man's a known meme now, right? To not address that in the movie would especially in the Spider Verse movie would be ridiculous. So they I nod of the hat, tip of the feather, or what's it called? Something like that.
Tip of the bow. I don't know.
People street race outside of my house all the fucking time, and it pisses me off.
One of these days, you're just gonna hear an explosion.
Oh, I hear car accidents at least once every 2 weeks. This intersection is one day I'm gonna hear a crash, and then I'm gonna hear blood curdling scream. I'm just mentally preparing myself for that. So enough about industry news and relevant topics on this evening with regards to my neighborhood.
Our day-to-day lives.
What are you watching?
Right now, we just finished. Well, I watched Glass and Split way more recently than I'd like to admit.
Hell yeah.
and just finished Moana. Just finished Moana because I needed like a chill but beautiful movie, and that's why I'm like okay with it because the animation in that movie. Okay, I'm gonna say this too. I was a little jaded when I saw it the first time, but upon revisiting it, it's fantastic all around. The music and the design of everything was very intriguing, and I could not stop looking at their hair. Flowing hair, both of them.
They always do good like children's story narratives. Like you know, it's a team of people who are very conscious about the 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 tones and the themes inside. You know, they dance delicately, and like I feel like they always do it well. I personally have not seen Moana, but yeah, I don't have kids. Neither do you, but like yeah, I guess it's something I need to like sit down and absorb because there's one that's coming out where it's a black character. I don't even know if it's a Pixar film, but
it is.
He dies and he plays. He's an artist, a musician, and it's kind of like his limbo afterlife of like the theme. The takeaway theme that I took from the trailers is that like there's more to be done, so don't waste your time here or something like that. And I was like, wow, that's a really death. Anytime you deal with death, it's like a really powerful message, especially with kids and in that medium of like Pixar animation, especially with
Coco.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that. I think I really want to. I want to see that.
Some very cool VR experiences associated with Coco on Oculus. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should.
I legitimately want to know how many people get into VR, or I mean, like how many people I know around me. Because honestly, well, for me, it's not that accessible. I have to get the whole. I feel like I have to replace the PC before I get the parts to drive my VR, or at least a complicated one.
We can talk about this as its own topic, and we probably should. But it is my firm belief that virtual reality is going to absolutely decimate the movie theater industry, straight to release. I'm in my home theater watch party with you and some friends in our headset, but really it's projected in a massive, movie theater style screen, and our movie theater of choice is like a spaceship or a campfire, or it's kind of, you set these chat rooms up. I've seen movies in this app called Big Room, and Paramount and all these other theaters are partnering with them because they're starting to explore putting movies out there for first release. They put out Top Gun in stereoscopic view, which means it has some depth to it. They also have like I haven't used big screen in about a month, and I want to explore some of the purchasable content, but they do have movies that you can rent and watch in big screen. The problem is, for me at least, 2 hours isolated in a headset to sit still and watch. I need to be like really dedicated to like sitting there and watching this film. Otherwise, like I'm gonna get distracted. You can like it is just way too convenient of an option. The problem is I'm in this massive virtual movie theater or home theater, this smaller like 8-seat theater by myself watching this thing. I can also pull up my laptop screen in as a virtual screen so I can kind of like be on Facebook and watching and like looking up and doing other things. It's fucking amazing.
I
And
bet you feel like Tony Stark.
uh maybe a little bit. No, they're making a Iron Man VR game though.
I imagine that sounds amazing. I thought I heard something about that. I wasn't sure if it was tied to the Avengers. We should also have a video game podcast. Should this be an amalgamation of everything?
Don't box us in. I mean, the title card. You know how hard it was to have that title card made. I'm not gonna commission a new graphic. So whether we call it movie talk and game talk, I don't really care. But we should. I'm up for whatever. This is just us riffing on some shit, and we thought that movies was probably the best the best topic to talk about.
I think it was because I love seeing more movies and getting a different perspective from the directors that I grew. I don't know. I'm getting also rewatching the movies because I often don't do that as much as I should. Really helps me refresh my opinion.
Here's other movie theater news that I don't think we covered in the same vein of big screen and remote presences. Tribeca this year moved their film festival exclusively to YouTube. And they streamed and premiered content in a linear fashion from basically 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., interspliced with shorts, Q&A, Zoom interviews. Extremely successful and like really amazing. It was absolutely free to watch. It even had some VR 360 content on it. And they pulled in films from all across the world. I mean, people have been doing this for a while. Like you go on Twitch, right? There's like riff tracks and like people are watching films, watch along parties. I cannot wait to watch The Room on YouTube or somewhere, right? Imagine like a chat room version of watching The Room. It'd be amazing. But yeah, Tribeca did the We Are One festival on YouTube. And it got a lot of viewership and a lot of like coverage from Variety, GQ, all the Rolling Stone, all that. In the COVID era, it kind of kickstarted the domino to this like virtual presence movie premiering release party and chat, right? Like the chat room is on.
That's amazing. I think I love how it's kind of changing in that direction. It clearly movie theaters are going to be offering more stuff to the streaming end of things. I think me personally, between just normal streaming and like VR watching the movie, I don't know. Is there like a strain on your neck? That's pretty much the most complicated question. Oh,
okay. I work with a guy who was telling me that like he couldn't put a VR headset on for more than 30 minutes because it hurt his neck. I was like, fucking pussy. And I just totally was unsympathetic to the fact that like I play football most of my life, and I've been like an 8-pound helmet has basically been on my shoulders since I was 8 years old. So like a VR headset, it's not even a thing for me. So, but it is a thing that people complain about.
It does that. When I've only experienced it like a handful of times, like going to conventions before all this. It was safe to just put it on your face, right after the person in front of you. And it looked great. It was awesome because it was me versus like Lauren in this 3D kind of scale environment. Like I was on a little hexagon kind of platform. I think I like charged and reloaded a gun somehow, but it looked like a laser and just a ball. It was simple but really fun. Simple in design, not in
okay.
But with that, I think the first thing that bothered me was kind of the peripheral. At first, it was almost like a little nauseating, like having to get used to it, and then after a while, I did buy into it. I think nausea got to me first before the head neck thing.
I've played some betas where I've walked out and been like I do get some seasickness from like casual sometimes experiences, and it has to do with like how you move, right? If you get sick, teleportation is a better option than glide walking, because I feel like when you glide walk and your body doesn't feel the inertia of being propelled forward, it kind of fucks with your inner ear a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I have had that experience, but watching a movie inside VR, nothing beats it in terms of immersion. You are isolated. You're in that environment. You're bought in. Audio is surround. Um, the edges are dark. There's no bleed depending on how you fit your headset. Um, but just like the thing I keep going back on is the Paramount movie Inside VR, because they made it with the stereoscopic, the depth camera. Once people like M. Night Shyamalan start to play around with this medium of like shooting in one VR 180 stereoscopic for the point of virtual consumption, like it's gonna get really, really interesting.
Huh. I feel like I've heard something about M. Night has been toying with something along those lines. Some new anyway. I like the idea that directors are using that type of technology. Didn't they do that? Not, it's kind of like VR mapping, but they did it for the Mandalorian when it was these giant screens on the back and the cameras,
Yeah.
were all, it was great.
It was, yeah, the Mandalorian was kind of weird because they had the green screen that pivoted alongside the camera angle. Which, like, yeah, you know how they like build the studios and they have like the infinity walls that they just like paint from like the thing. It wasn't, the shots that I've seen, it wasn't like that. In some instances, they had like the camera mirroring the green screen on the other side, so no matter where they put it, there was always a green backdrop, so they didn't have to fucking worry about keying anything or like specific thing. Anyway,
it's so brilliant though. Like it's just, I don't know. I kind of believed it more. I didn't get distracted by a lot of effects in The Mandalorian.
Technology is weird, especially when you put technology in films, and then when you use technology to shoot, it looks great in the time period that we're looking at it. But when you, in 20 years, we're going to go back and we're going to look at Mandalorian, we're going to fucking cringe, right? Like Tron, when Tron came out, like everyone was like, whoa, now you look at fucking Tron and like, it's a bunch of people in fucking leotards standing behind a green screen. I could do better in my garage right now.
Yeah, and then their faces are like gray. Like they removed all of anything.
But at the time, people's minds were fucking blown. Right?
Was it more of I thought it wasn't too popular upon its initial release.
I don't know the context of it when it first came out, but like it's got a, let me actually, mind blowing might be too much. It had a cult following, and it still does.
And I mean, like it stood out enough to still be in the. I still want to say it's in the, what is it, like the public mind. You know what I mean? It's in pop culture. Mm-hmm. In that terms.
I've been watching a few things. I did watch a VR 360 documentary called Traveling While Black, which was a feature film in the We Are One festival, and it basically the story of the Green Book and talking about this one place in DC, which was kind of like a respite for Black travelers. And it's still operational today. And at the end of it, they pulled in Tamar Rice's mom, and interviewed her about the process not the process, Jesus. Interviewed her about, the things that are happening now and the questions around her experience with her son's tragic death. So it was VR is an empathy machine. And documentaries and sort of experiences that put you in other people's shoes are extremely compelling in VR. If you're just like a god figure watching things happen around you, it's kind of not as much. But like in the Traveling While Black, they put you. It was really, the scene is really cool, and I tried to take a screenshot of it, but it froze on my machine. I'm sitting in one section of a diner back in the 1950s. All the actors are dressed in like 50s and 60s attire. But then it's modern day. I'm in this diner in DC, but then you look, because it's a diner, it's got that mirror that runs along the wall, and you look on the other side of the mirror, and it's all the same actors wearing 1950s stuff with the sepia tone sort of past look on it. And the same for like, they put you in a bus during the 60s traveling around the country, kind of like Freedom Rider style, but you look out the window, you can kind of see the country and all these other places, and then you can see a little bit the reflection of yourself as a black man sitting in that chair traveling from point A to point B. So it's like, this is what it was like. These are some of the concerns you might have pulling into a rest stop, right? These are some of the things you look for, and this is why black travelers exchange this information with each other to like make sure they weren't like venturing into, backwood town where you'd go disappearing. Yeah. So from that end, I also purchased online. I saw Midsummer. I think, did we talk about that last time? Midsummer's a Trip A24 production.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I only saw the director's first. I thought it was Hereditary.
That one. It's not weird. It's my God. It's different, but you should watch it. It's cool. We should talk about that. Midsummer, if you haven't seen it. And
it's on Amazon Prime. Sweet.
It's on YouTube too. I saw it on YouTube. Gotta recycle that money.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I finished watching now was Devs. I don't know if you've seen Devs.
I think I know of it, but I might have missed the boat on it.
It's an amazing series with Ron from Parks and Rec, the guy with the mustache. He plays kind of like an eccentric Google CEO guy, playing around with like Google X unknown technology. I won't spoil too much, but like it's definitely got some twists and turns, but it will absolutely hook you from the first 2 episodes. It's really it's great. So that's what I've been watching. Less films, more series.
Ah, sweet. I think I think I can keep it's somewhat more movies. Like I put on those while I'm editing. Some shows I've been binging a lot of Community. Nah, but when I don't edit audio during the movie.
you put
I'm losing time, man. There's only so much time a human has in the day. If I could stop the watch and devote every second to a film, I would.
Let this be a note to the listeners. If you tell me that you've seen a film and I find out that you put the film on while you were doing something else, you did not watch that fucking film, and we do not have grounds to talk about it. We are not equals. Fucking full eyes front and respect the art.
But think about this. What if I have been a media watcher, a master for so long that I can totally get if I look away for 5 seconds to edit and then I come back? And it's definitely not the way. Actually, that's a good question to start. That's not the way a movie is intended to be seen, for sure. But is that really the worst way to watch the movie? I think Netflix introduced something on the mobile version where you could watch the movie in 2 times speed. I could really do that.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't approve of that.
At this point, why even watch it? This is not like reading Cliff Notes, right? Like, oh, I read that book. I really listened to the Cliff Notes version. Sure, whatever you need to say to polish yourself. But like, you really should be like, this person is pulling you through a story, right? Imagine if you put on The Village in the background. You'd be like, oh yeah, okay, it's cool. I get it. Right? It's those slow burn. You can't watch Midsummer in the background. You cannot watch Midsummer in the background. You will miss a lot.
There's some movies I've saved to the front. Uncut Gems, I think if I looked away for even 5 seconds, I could not keep pace. So I definitely devoted. And that was like a terrible way to view it, because it was like, family, let's watch it. It's an Adam Sandler movie. Oh, through Zoom though, and it just got worse and worse.
I think I'm gonna come. I was watching that in the theater, it was like me and like 4 other people sprinkled around. When he said that, I couldn't stop laughing.
The way the dude keeps trying to get his attention too.
I think I'm gonna come. Kevin Garnett deserves Best Supporting Actor, or at least a nomination for that.
That was such a good job.
That all around, man, that movie was great. Oh yeah, so it passed the Oscar season for when that film would have been in it. Recently passed, and I think I remember like being like, he didn't get any mention.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Like not it. Uncut Gems wasn't even like.
Was it because I can't tell? I thought it was like, I didn't think it was Netflix only. I thought it was A24, but people are telling me it's a Netflix only movie.
No, it was A24 when it came out for release. Same people who made Midsummer. And
would that disqualify it from getting any awards?
I don't know what the criterion called. Thomas would be someone better to ask about that. I think as long as it like has a theatrical release. I think there's been a big deal about like straight to Netflix stuff getting honorable mention or like shorts or like being considered for things. But I don't know what the criteria are. And it's probably going to change with more things being released fucking streaming, right? Like
criteria used to be throw $1 million party and then just invite the people who host the award show.
Cocaine and escorts. That's how you get the on the Academy's list there. That's what that'll be my thing. Yeah. Let's not pretend that like you've watched my film and you've had some profound life-changing moment, all right? Like you came to my house party, I got you drunk and laid. Give me I demand an Oscar now.
I earned this.
Yeah, I don't know what else I'm gonna be watching next, but if you've got any recommendations, please put it in the comments. Reply to us on social media. We're out. I'm out there. Aaron, good luck trying to get a hold of him to do anything.
I'm starting to gear up my social media game. I'm getting a little in there. I'm gonna tweet more about some complaints about some movies. I'll be out there.
I love lamp.
Anchorman.
Okay, all right. 1 for 1. Actually, I gotta move this over so
that was good. Like... If I wasn't quick, I would have moved.
All right. Do you have any for me? We're into.
Give me another while I look because it's been a minute since I grabbed my.
I think I might have said this one already to you, but I'll do it again. What's the most you've ever lost in a coin toss?
No Country for Old Men.
Hey, all right, he's getting it, folks. But after I repeat these,
you should have done it in the voice, though.
Call it. All right, this is getting easier for you. Okay, very nice.
Wait, I have
Yakshamash.
Oh, Borat. Come
okay.
On. I haven't even seen it. I know it.
Come on. Oh, as if he knows.
But I have seen Bruno.
Here at Globo Gym, we're better than you, and we know it.
Globo Gym.
That should have been a giveaway.
It should have been a giveaway. Is it Demolition Man?
Demolition Man. Starts with a D. It's Dodgeball.
Oh, that's been a while since I've seen that one.
That's a bingo. Which is also a reference. That's a bingo. Yes.
Uh-oh. That one's not even ringing a bell.
Inglourious Basterds, probably. It was Christoph Waltz towards the end. He says, trying to practice his English. Yeah, okay.
That was a good Christoph Waltz, though. I'm thinking back about it and I can hear it.
I'm here to. You know what? In this climate, I won't even say. I was gonna say another Christoph Waltz line from Django Unchained, but I won't say it. That is not.
Another time.
Another time. We're gonna move past this. Yeah. Racial slurs. So hot right
now. I have one, but it's mainly
so hot right now. That's so hot right now. That's a meme. Hansel. So hot right now.
So hot right now. So I feel like I haven't seen it.
Zoolander.
I thought it was Vin Diesel from that interview.
All right, what you got for me?
All right, I have. I'll show them the power of the darkness.
Oh, that's you know what? That's a pretty good impression. I don't know which movie that is, but that's Kylo.
Yeah, I don't know. I just looked up Kylo Ren quotes because my brother, me and him die when we try and do the Kylo impression. Just make him mopey.
I will finish what you started. I love when he talks to Snoke He's like, I'm here to kill you. Oh no, not Snoke. Fucking God. What am
Palpatine.
Palpatine. Yeah.
There you go.
You
don't remember because it's a stupid part of the story, but another show.
You look like you got some pain in those eyes, friend.
Director?
It's Paul Rudd playing a beach bum in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Hot American Summer when I heard him playing like a bum.
He says that like 3 times. The same character comes up to him every time. So the first time he says it, it's like relevant to it because he just had a breakup. And the second time he says it, he's like, "Yeah, I'm hungover." And the third time he says it, the guy's like really happy, and he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He just says it to people coming up on the beach. Anyway, go ahead.
I remember that actually. Weren't they like floating on surfboards at one point? He's like, "I say that." All right. I see dead people.
That's a good segue. Sixth Sense into our conversation of M. Night. I think The Sixth Sense is overrated, and really? I am a M. Night fan. Yes.
I knew the twist, and I knew people's love for it before I went into it and saw it for the first time. This one I did devote my full attention to. I guess I will specify now.
I feel like The Sixth Sense was like, oh God, it's gonna sound snooty as fuck, but like, people who don't watch movie for like,
I know where you're
Marvel,
going.
Captain America, like pop culture movie people. That was like, they walked out of the movie theater. They had to have a cigarette. They were like, whoa, you know? And I was just like, yeah, it's a cool flick, but like, Jesus Christ, yeah.
Where's the depth to this Marvel film? It's very fun. They thought out a lot of things, but where's the emotional depth?
I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it. It had some shock moments to me as well. My favorite parts were in the beginning and at the end. The end when it was revealed that spoiler if you haven't fucking seen it now, and it's on you. Where the stepmom was poisoning the little girl, right? The guy.
Yeah.
That had more gravity to me than the reveal of Bruce Willis. And then the first part where the kid is like, there's an accident, I can see it. It's like, how do you know? It's like, she's standing next to my window. Like, creepy kids in movies. M. Night Shyamalan does great.
He nails it. He really knows how to set the tone when he knows what he like. I think when he's like most interested in the project is what it feels like.
When they're his.
Yeah.
So Signs, creepy kids in the movie. The Visit, like these kids go to their grandparents' house. These grandparents are fucking weird.
The only one I didn't see was The Visit, and only because I kept seeing YouTube clips of the kid rapping, and that heavily.
But in all of his films, he does well in the back when DVDs were a thing. Bonus extras. He would include clips of him shooting home movies in his backyard with his best friend. One where he was like the Indiana Jones, which is fucking great. He's running through the woods of his like local neighborhood. By the way, he always shoots in Pennsylvania because that's hometown. Fun fact. Not always, but fun fact. I don't know where the last Airbender was shot. But probably a studio somewhere. Avatar.
A lot in like Pennsylvania still.
Was it?
No, I'm just guessing because it didn't come out well.
Signs is backcountry Pennsylvania. So is The Village. No.
Wait, was it you? We've talked about this before with someone from the team. Did you not like The Village?
I love The Village. I think The Village is a master. I think The Village is a film you can only watch once.
Yeah, I would agree with that because if you know the twist coming ahead, then all the pacing really does get slower than it already is.
I don't think it's slow. I think I think it builds to an amazing crescendo, and that's that balloon. You can only pop that balloon once. If you go back and revisit it, you're trying to like find how subtly he hinted or planted things, right? You're trying to find plot holes in it if you go back and you revisit it.
Can you think of any Easter eggs kind of like that, hinting or anything foreshadowing like that? I'm trying to remember because I knew the twist before I saw it with full attention, but I knew the twist going in. I'm trying to think of something like that would have used. because he does have that.
Who played Lex Luthor? Jesse Eisenberg. What's his name?
Yeah.
And also Zuck. He's in that as an extra in the Amish community. He's like sitting at the dinner table when the horns go off for the first time.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. You don't notice him there? Yeah, he's in there.
I thought from the village, yeah, that reveal was, whether I knew about it or not, was great. It was a great build up to it, because the whole time you felt like this village did feel like it was its own breathing community back in time completely.
When the reveal happened at the end and you saw the photograph, it took me like 20 seconds to digest what I was seeing in the photograph, because it started black and white and then came color, and I was like, wait, no, like that's a car, right? Like it took a while for my mind to settle into it, and I love that. I'll never forget that feeling.
Yeah, it was like someone hopped, or the main woman hopped over the fence, right, and then the car pulled in the frame and blocked her. I agree with that.
No, before that, when they're telling the story and they send her out to the wilderness and they open the box of secrets, and in the box of secrets there's a photograph in there.
Oh.
And it's a photograph of all of the elders, like before they started their experiment, like in front of a building with a car in the foreground, and you're just like, what? And like in real time, it's like the 70s or some shit.
Yeah. Okay. I remember I remember when she already made it out. That box. I guess I still missed that one.
Bro, the thing that like puts the button in that film for me was the scene with the kid who discovers her and Bryce Dallas Howard, when they're having that conversation about like, you live in here, and she's like, I can sense kindness in your voice, and he's like, is someone in trouble? Like, that being cast in something like that and having that much gravity in like 5 minutes of a film, give me that, and then I can die happy. Dude, that's my favorite part of the film. That's one of my favorite parts, that last 5-minute interaction before he, like, when he sends her over and he's just in his car, he's just like digesting all that information, he's just processing it, and you could just see the 1,000-yard stare in his mind. He's like, what the fuck just happened?
I didn't think of it that way. That's brilliant. Yeah, because it really ties everything all together. Like it's the most, I don't know, with it, it's the biggest buildup you could have to the climax that I've ever seen. And I guess I said slow, but I don't mean, when I say slow, I never mean it as a bad thing. I'm okay with slow, just have purpose to it. And yeah, I think that movie really did accomplish that, especially when it got to where it wanted.
I think that was the climax. The climax was supposed to be fighting the beast, right? But like, I thought that discovery, it was like, okay, that obstacle is done. This thing isn't real. But then you're like, you got sucker punched twice, right? M. Night put 2 twists in the movie. You're like, what?
M. Night Tusk.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe, he like 2 different twists in one movie.
I like that. I think it's clearly where he thrives most.
Well, he's got to find new ways to do it, because people are now coming to expect it, right?
Yeah, and they're hoping. Or it's either, and a lot of the times it works out. There's some where I'm not on board. I would go back to The Sixth Sense. I liked it, but I think it did end a little abruptly when you figured out. I probably, there was nothing more to tell there, but it did end up a little bit abruptly. I guess that's just the way he likes to leave you. And the same thing with Unbreakable. I felt the second Samuel L. Jackson was revealed to be the killer on the train, spoiler, we're going to go straight to that one.
Nah, fuck that. You should see this. You should have seen it.
Yeah, good. No, I really felt like that ended too quickly too. But I guess, I don't know. Was he, you think he always intended for it to be split then glass?
Yeah. So when no bullshit, hand to God, swear on my life, when I first saw that movie, I'm like, holy shit. This is a superhero origin movie. I thought that when I saw it in the theaters. I shit you not. He made what I thought like The Watchmen was trying to achieve, right? Like realistic superheroes. I was like, he did a fucking amazing job, right? With like this subtle but interesting power, right? And told this story with Samuel L. Jackson. And then at the end, with the villain monologue as he's walking away. You could tell that when he storyboarded this, he storyboarded it in like a comic book way, right? He got an illustrator to storyboard it and visualize it as a graphic novel. Then he was going to shoot it like that. And he did that with Glass too. Because the scene, again, with Samuel L. Jackson over the PA talking about his master plan. He's like, look, a lot of people are going to die if you don't get out of that door. I was just like, this is a super, like, this, I'm watching a comic book. This is fucking amazing.
I think he definitely didn't make it too overbearing. It came back at a perfect time too, like with superheroes. And I think because there's so many different superhero stuff, and also the anime side of things I like with My Hero and One Punch Man. I think he had a very interesting and unique perspective of superheroes, that they were this muddled down, pushed down entity, the next step. I really did appreciate and like his approach. It came to fruition way more in Glass, but it's just like the twist. It's all there from the very beginning. And
bro,
I kind of want to watch Unbreakable again for sure.
Split was amazing. So I went into Split as a James McAvoy fan. I was like, everything this guy is in is going to be great, because not only is he a great actor, but like he picks his projects well. And so when I was watching it, man, this dude, I feel like I'm watching 15 different actors, right? If you get the wrong actor for this, it doesn't work. It just fucking, the movie falls flat. They picked it perfectly. And at the end of Split, in the movie theater, when I was watching it and you saw it dissolve to Harry Dunn, I jumped up and I was like, yeah! Fucking lost it, man. Lost it. Hell yeah.
I had to explain it to Lauren, but I was like, yes.
Yeah, dude.
It was kind of a driving force. I think that got ruined for me, but that was definitely a driving force why I went back to it.
I don't know if he planned this out 20 years later. I don't put it past him. But if he expanded on it, as a result of people like, yo, you should do this again. I have no idea. I haven't like read or seen anything that said this. He knew that Unbreakable was going to be a trilogy when it started.
The only thing I knew is that a script, Split specifically, was the only script I know of where he did write that in his earlier career.
Oh, shit.
He's kept that for a very long time. Actually, since Unbreakable, pretty much. But he never just put it out there. Never needed to. Kept going and just let it collect dust until now. Did he? And I think Glass was more recent, though.
Did he mean for it to be tied into Unbreakable?
That part I'm not sure about. I don't know if he added that. I really don't.
This man is a goddamn genius. It's almost okay that he puts himself in his own films.
I think it's like an issue. Well, I'm okay with that, actually.
In all of them.
The only reason it sucks now is because like we know all these directors for doing it for so long. And it used to be fun because before all like social media, when you could look up what everybody looked like, the director and all, now it's just like, oh, we know who he looks like. That's so pretentious.
He's not. It's not like he gives himself like world-breaking characters, right? I mean, the only one he did was Lady in the Water. He should have probably not done that.
As the best writer in the world. That's a little on the nose.
But like Tarantino in, was it Desperado, giving himself that like monologue joke, which is a great joke in the beginning of the film. Like, but he kind of ruins his own movies. I'm glad at least M. Night has some like self-awareness to not be that front and center.
I agree with that, because in Pulp Fiction, my least favorite scene is when they finally get Quentin Tarantino. They get back to the apartment with the dead
person storage.
Yeah, but I love that actor too. He does so much of my favorite like shows. The actor who died in the back of the trunk of that.
Another N-word scene. Yeah, we got, man. Yeah, Tarantino loves it.
Way too comfy, dude.
He loves it. But I assume I operate under the assumption that white people use that word all the fucking time when I'm not around. So that's just, I'm just like, hey, at least he's honest about it. He's, you know.
Tell me if this is true, because I saw a meme that was like that was like when you and your white homie are rapping to the song, but the N-word's coming up, and the picture was just this dude like an inch away from his friend's face,
waiting for him to say,
like, yeah, like so close.
There was an Adam Sandberg film where he pretends to be a rapper, and the guy from SNL, right? And then Tim Curry, or the black dude, is like his manager. And he says some like lyric or something, and he says it, and then his manager's like, "Wow, hard R, huh?" He's like, "You enunciated the hard R. All right, wow."
Like, it's like never stop, never stopping or something.
I guess I don't.
He was making fun of Justin Bieber.
Maybe I can't remember specifically, but I just remember that scene being like, "Yeah, no, that's yeah." Yeah.
I just know I like independent films, and in a weird way, I think that's because of Andy Samberg. All his films were never popular, never made like big budgets or big box office hits, but they always made me laugh. I love Eddie.
Fucking terrible. I like his skits.
You like Hot Rod?
No, Hot Rod is awful.
Hot Rod is super funny. He's supposed to be stupid.
Let's not muck up M. Night's time by talking about this hack. All right.
We're having an Andy Samberg episode.
Oh God! All right.
For my birthday. Let's do that.
Fair. All right. Fair.
Fair. Yes. That means they have to stick around till then.
I am an alien nut. I believe that they're out there. Whether or not they've come in contact with us is a big question mark. I think it's more probable than impossible. I like Alien 2, the original. Not 2, but TOO. But Signs was super compelling because not because of the aliens or the things or the little girl, but like I get distracted with the setting. And if that was to happen, that's how it would happen, and that's how society would respond to it. Kind of like the District 9 sort of thing. Aliens won't just come one day and zoom down, right? They're going to park in our upper atmosphere and see how we respond to it. And like, we are going to eat each other.
Yeah, actually, that was, from what I remember of Signs, that was like the most realistic portrayal that would.
The news reports
felt so intense around them, even through just the news they were seeing. It was great.
M. Night had that scene where he was a critical part in that he set up the storyline for Mel Gibson, but he didn't really have that much airtime. But he did have that one scene in the car where he trapped, where he revealed that he had an alien trapped in his cupboard. These aliens can travel light distances, but they can't operate a doorknob. Or kick down the door, whatever. It's
something that I really did enjoy Signs. I think the portrayal up until the aliens is the best part, because if you're an advanced society, go on. Why?
No, go ahead.
All right, I'm thinking, why see the water and continue to go with the water? I guess it's like humans still seeing Mars and still exploring Mars. You see a dangerous environment, you prepare for it, and then you still explore it as a scientist or a researcher or something.
I feel like they would have prepared for water, especially in a
naked
H2O, especially on a planet that rains regularly in different regions,
and
right?
The moisture from Kelly told me this. The moisture from our lugs will shoot at least 6 feet, and then, well, I guess everybody.
We have acidic spit to them, right? We are alien. In a way.
We're the gross aliens to them.
Yeah, dude. Like so that part to me, whatever. I like the story. I really like the story
behind it. I like that too.
There were a lot of points where I was like, all right, you did that to like pull us in, or like you did that to like put some stakes in. Didn't really get much gravity to me when they were trapped in the basement and like all that other stuff. But
I love the knife scene real quick when that direction is fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
He makes good jumpy shit.
He knows timing. He knows what will draw you in and how long to do it, and then right when to pull the rug right out from under you.
I am dead inside from all the horror movies I've watched as a kid. My cousins, I'd go to my cousin's house. They would have horror movies on all the fucking time. And then my aunt would be shut it off mid-movie and be like, time to go to bed. I'm like, what? I need to resolve this Hellraiser conflict in my mind, or otherwise I'm not going to sleep. Does he get back in the box or not? You know, so I was watching fucking crazy shit. But so to still, like, it didn't really, like, make me jump. But, like, M. Night movies, for some reason, do. Or, like, in The Village, the first time you saw the animal, you're like, holy shit. Like, what is that?
Yeah. The way he hit it. Because I think there's a way to, in The Village, to shoot you're talking about the ones with the red cloaks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a way to shoot that poorly, but every time he did it, I really bought it. It was tense. It felt like, oh my God, they're going to get fucked. But
I'm surprised not over the course of time, no one ganged up on them and like beat the shit out of like Joaquin Phoenix is the first person that no one thought of like taking a pitchfork to one.
You think so, right?
Yeah.
Like, didn't they steal someone before they came into the house, or they were about to?
Yeah, they were about to. So that scene with Bryce with her hand out, that always gets me a little emotional. Like, that's such an amazing scene where she's like, he'd come for us. And Adrian Brody, which is an amazing actor too, playing the troubled adult in the film, also adds like another layer to like the craziness that's happening.
Everybody really poured a lot of themselves. Well, I mean, like a lot of their acting ability into it.
Anyone who says that's a bad movie is a fucking moron. I don't know. Sorry, listener, watcher, but like,
that's your opinion. But sometimes it's wrong because filmmaking is an art form. That's not easy. It's supposed to. I feel like
people are entitled to their opinion. Yeah, people voted for the Nazis and like Coldplay too. So let's not like. Let's not put too much weight on people. People also think it's fine to go out into fucking parties right now.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Stay safe, guys. Wear a mask.
Chill at home. Stream. Talk about movies.
Hell yeah.
Watch us. I think I also wanted to say, like, him in that scene in The Village, in Signs, where M. Night is talking to Mel Gibson about religious angles and aspects. I don't think he's definitely not as overbearing as like Quentin has been in the past, for sure. Like there's definitely plenty of his scenes where I get bored of him seeing him there. But with M. Night, at least he's concise. Like in Split, I loved when in Glass, when he finally confronted Bruce Willis again. I'm bad with the names. And he's like, hey, I used to be that drug dude who at the stadium you bumped into.
Yeah.
It's a little bit stretch, but I like that he brought it back.
It wasn't it was a wink and a nod to like people who knew, right?
Yeah.
And it showed, and now like you go back and you watch Unbreakable, you were like, Bruce Willis's hunch about that guy was right. Right? Like he was doing drugs. He just didn't catch him with the drugs. Also
that even adds more to the end of it. Sorry, go on.
No, for sure. And another I think Easter egg was, you remember when Bruce Willis is walking, so this plays to that he had Split written the entire time. Bruce Willis is walking through and he's trying to touch people and get an idea of what's going on, or like what's like, he's hearing voices. In one of the scenes, he walks by a mother who's pulling a little kid pretty roughly, and when she brushes him, he stops and he turns around and looks at her, and you hear this kid screaming with multiple voices in his head. Go back and watch that clip, stadium clip. I bet you that's Kevin. I guarantee you that's Kevin.
Oh, that's
Kevin
awesome.
Wendell Crumb.
That's why I got to re-see Unbreakable.
You should. It's that scene is on YouTube. I've watched it a million times. Don't watch it now. But when we wrap this episode, I'm gonna fucking send you the link on it. But yeah, that's Kevin Wendell Crumb.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I would say those two were tied. Maybe he just he never felt like he was going to get it off the ground, and then he's made Glass more recently. But also, people didn't like Glass. What was your opinion on that?
I love Glass. I hated the nefarious underworld of people that keep them suppressed. It makes sense, but I think they were overplayed.
Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut you off. But I like the superhero fight.
The superhero fight was fantastic.
It was amazing, right? The Beast versus Kevin. They both. So here's another thing, right? let's examine this world. You are, and all of these people are like not police officers, right? They work for that woman in that nefarious setting because they just watched two men fall from a 5th-story warehouse window and get up like nothing happened, right?
Yeah, I guess that'd be pretty terrifying.
And then like both of these guys are debating running away, like when Captain America falls through off the elevator and hits the floor. If I was holding a gun, she's like, all right, they're gonna be coming through this door any minute, and they fall from the 6th-story window and they get up. I'm like, holy shit, my bullet. What is my gun gonna do?
Well, there's only one way.
Yeah, just gonna piss them off.
Yeah, I liked. That was a good part of. I'm trying to remember all the names, but Split's character with James McAvoy, the changing his like physiology, his whole anatomy or whatever, through his psychology was great. That was one, and subtly showing it with the diabetes personality. That was one of my favorite parts. I think Split was stronger than Glass, but Glass, that scene was not the only reason. Glass was well worth it, I
think Split was scarier for a bunch of different reasons, for sure. I like Glass as a better movie only because you got to see more of the personalities.
Yeah.
A lot more. I like when the art professor comes out and tries to debate Glass on the American Sublime. Do you know what that means? That anyway, yeah, I love all three of those films. It's when he's like trying to get to the boy, the young kid, because the kid can put anybody he wants into the light. The kid can grab the light whenever he wants. And then he can send out whoever he wants into the light. So he's trying to get to the kid because the kid can bring out the beast. And then like he's going through it. He's like, hey, I ain't know. There's 2 factions in Kevin's head. He's like Team Kevin and Team Horde. And the Western guy's like, hey man, I am Team Horde all the way. I'll introduce you to anybody you want to meet. He's like, people say I got a big mouth. That's not true. Everyone knows that you die. That the priest dies at the end of The Exorcist. Like that. Like you can't. Dude, I wish McAvoy did a film just
like Split 2 should have been him just on his own. Because honestly, in Glass, he was the most interesting part I could draw my eyes to, and that's saying a lot because I loved Samuel L. Jackson. I think he did a more compelling job than Bruce Willis. I think older Bruce Willis doesn't really care in most of his movies when he's acting. But Glass, it felt like he was trying.
I think that's not fair, but yeah.
Watch Red 1 or 2.
That's
fair. And watch any new Die Hard film.
When you do
hard to watch.
You're not reaching for an Oscar when you do a Die Hard film, man. You're having fun and making stuff you want to make. That's unfair to Bruce Willis and his Blockbuster Movie Award.
Well, I just think he's earned so much. I don't blame him for it. I'm going to say this. Yeah, he's earned so much. He has the right to be like, hey, I'm just on set for a day because you can only afford a day. And I don't care. I don't read most of the script. What's up?
Yeah.
I'm cool with Bruce Willis, but it's also cool to see him. I don't know. For me personally, it just felt like in Glass, this is the most lively I've seen him. Like,
I feel like Glass was like his last action movie hurrah. And
that would be fitting.
To put it into another, to give him another action movie he would probably be desperate for cash. But this was like a good choice because it's like when comedic actors do something dramatic as well. You like it, like Uncut Gems, right? You're like trying to show people that you've got more than that. Like Batista does, right? He's doing comedic acting as well as like the James Bond shit and also the Blade Runner stuff. He was really good in Blade Runner, not to divert.
Dave Bautista was in that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I only seen the first one. I still need to see 2048 or something.
Yeah, he's in the beginning of that. He gets into a fight with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. When will he not be Deadpool?
Not Ryan Reynolds. Fucking what is the guy's name?
Oh, I know who you're talking. The Nice Guys actor and other stuff actor.
He was
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
We gotta have an episode about him.
Big Short. Do we really though?
I have a lot of opinions about him. There's some really good movies with him, and there's some really movies that are overhyped and I hate him in. You know?
Like, I haven't seen La La Land. I feel like at some point I've got to like sit down and do it.
I like that one, but I feel like people who we'll get on there the whole episode. But
all my friends whose movie taste I respect trashed it.
Damn.
So okay. Anyway,
another episode.
M. Night, genius. I don't know how you.
Did you ever see After Earth?
No, that's the Will Smith one, right?
Yeah, no. With Jaden.
No,
I've only seen reviews of it, like minor clips.
Did M. Night make that?
He was, but he got lost in the marketing of it because this was in the downslope of his career.
What?
This was right after Lady in the Water and The Happening, and
this was right after Airbender.
Did he do Planet of the Apes, the remake with Mark Wahlberg? No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Was he a producer on it?
Maybe. I know he was a producer on Devil, which is like that elevator movie.
Yeah.
Stuck, but that one also bombed.
The Happening. We have to talk about The Happening. Have you seen The Happening?
I have seen. I saw it on TV a long time ago. I missed the first beginning of it, and from then on, I just looked so insane what I was seeing. I was like, I don't think I need to see the first 20, and I just never went back. Regarding that, I think I could make a good drinking game out of it.
I haven't thought about The Happening since I've watched it, and it was kind of ridiculous, but like kind of made like I get what he's like in the same way with Jordan Peele. Like you have to try these ideas, right? Like you never know how someone's gonna receive it, so I don't like trash him for that. But the concept was that the Earth released a virus, right, and it's affecting humanity in this very specific way, like. Tip in the nod to COVID-19, I guess. But instead of giving you respiratory problems, your self-preservation drive goes in reverse and you just want to kill yourself. So people try to isolate themselves in like airtight containment until they realize that the trees and the plants are the ones emitting these fumes, right? They're basically trying to get rid of us. And basically...
I guess that was very fitting.
And so, like, you have this scene where, like, a bunch of one construction worker falls off the floor and people think it's an accident. They're like, oh my God, go get him some help. And then, like, these construction workers just, like, start hitting the ground and you realize that they're walking off of it. And it's like some weird mass suicide. Like, what the fuck?
I remember that shot. That's a good shot, too.
That is a good scene.
Very good, yeah.
And then the weird one for me was when this old guy started his lawnmower and then, like, crawled underneath it.
Yeah.
I was like,
there's some funny scenes because I can also remember. Yeah. You remember the lion one? With the man in the zoo?
Oh God, no, I don't remember that.
It was some like it looked like he didn't look like he. Okay, first of all, he didn't look like he worked with the zoo. He was wearing like a Best Buy kind of this blue shirt with a little pocket, but he just like walked into the lion's den and just like waved his arm in front of the lion, and then the lion finally bit his arm, and then it was weird because it was being recorded through like a mother's phone in front of her kid, which is also funny because why just get your kid out of there? Don't let this dude die.
Which is also very 2020, right? I'm on a viral video. Make me rich, bitch.
He's ahead of his time, I guess, and really ahead of his time. But that scene was hilarious because the second the arms are ripped off, he's still standing there, not even screaming. And they look like, they switched to like doll arms, but there's still blood and gore right here. But it's just so funny. It's just funny because he was not freaking out at it. And it's an odd scene. And so trying to process it, you're like, why am I not scared of this?
Yeah, it feels like people like picked the most painful ways to go. It's like the virus or the air, whatever was in the air, was forcing them to find like the most brutal methods to do it. And it's like, why would you there's so many cleaner ways. And then like once they figured out the plants were doing it, they had plants in their vicinity, but they were nice to the plants or something fucking weird. I can't remember it exactly.
I know it was the plants. I think it's all about the presentation when it comes to him because for sure, well, I mean, any director, but it just feels like with The Happening and I don't know. These are the basic factors like a cast and your presentation. Go on.
Why would you cast Wahlberg in this? Like what? Yeah. What the
if you don't understand him in the casting and he's not listening to what you want, I can't imagine that is what he was actually envisioning. Like, or was it like he thought was it the studio? I don't know this part. Was the studio just pushing him to keep the dude?
Maybe.
Because it was like, because it seems he works better in an independent environment. Like,
we got Wahlberg on a 4-film deal. We don't know what we're gonna put him in. So like, we got M. Night. You got to find room for him.
Like, what? No.
I don't know what the fuck is going on there. Yeah, I thought that was weird casting, and like, it definitely didn't fit. He's got that surprise dumb. In the Happening movie, I always think of the meme, and you probably throw this up on screen, where he's like looking around, like right as he says, "Is this happening?" It's that is the movie. That image of Wahlberg staring blankly in amazement, like in the distance, like that's the film.
Do you remember his introduction when he's in the classroom as the teacher?
No.
God, it's so good. If you love awkward humor, it is so good. It's just him like talking to like a very handsome like student, and the dude is like, he also looks like an adult. Like no one in this room is a high schooler, but he's just like, you should be more interested in science, cool guy, because your face is perfect.
All right.
Yeah. I don't think they gave him enough information to be a scientist.
All right. Thanks, Teach. I don't even want to touch. So we're wrapping up on time here, but I just want to say that Lady in the Water was a good idea. I was excited by the trailers, but I feel like he had nowhere to go with it. Like the first half of it started pretty well, and I was like really pulled in. Paul Giamatti is an amazing actor, so I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great. And I was like, really, the reveal of the sea nymph and the underwater world just went nowhere. It's like, cool, and a giant falcon. Okay.
That one felt like it was just, he was going through some stuff. Like it didn't feel like it was a studio thing. It was like I'm having trouble thing.
So here's the other problem with Visionary, and I'm giving him way too much credit. I feel like this happens a lot in Hollywood. A director comes in with an idea, and then the marketing, producing executives, or they get their hands on it, and they're like, you know what would work here? A giant bird. Right? Wouldn't that be majestic if it comes out of nowhere in the rain and takes your superhero, your antagonist away? Or like some fucking shit-eater panel of people they selected off the street because they don't have a 9-to-5 job who get to steer the course of these box office movies because what are they, like the poll? Like, how do I get the job to be like, to see a film before it premieres and gives you feedback on it? Like,
seriously,
how do I get that job?
That happened to me like once, but it was the dumbest way it happened. Like we were going into a movie theater and they just were like, hey, there's these kiosks, touchscreens, just answer some questions, then you can watch your movie. And you're like, all right. And it's just, it made me sad. I was like, oh man, this movie's gonna be bad.
Yeah, like let's not crowdsource our vision here. How about that? Right? Have a vision, stick to it. At least then I can respect your efforts on it. But I mean, at some point, art meets commercial, and you have to make compromises.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why I like to see how some directors differentiate themselves, because some can work with those ideas. I can't remember who directed like Fight Club. I know I should, but
shit.
But basically, there's product placement in that movie, but they integrate it so well you don't care, and they mess with you about it. Even so, like within the terms of the movie, they just fuck with you.
Dave Fincher.
Marketing. There you go.
I shout out to Annie. Annie's a friend of mine from LA. Her husband works in film, and his job is to sign those partnership sponsorship deals to put Coke and Pepsi cans conveniently placed in films. Like, that is his job.
Oh my god. I gotta talk to him about World War Z.
We should bring him in here.
Yes.
I'm sure he's like an old school, he's like an older guy, old school Boston dude. He'll shoot it straight, we'll get demonetized, but I'm sure he's got some amazing fucking stories.
I gotta hear what his opinion is on World War Z, because there is an indescribable scene in that offense.
Even better. I don't think he's remotely a film buff.
I need to know. I gotta hear his opinions now. I gotta.
But that's like the time, like that's the person that they get. Like I don't care if this is gonna ruin the film. I want a big Anheuser-Busch mug of ale right on the fucking teacher's desk because I paid for that. I'm paying for this fucking film, right? Like
my money.
Yeah. So,
good with that.
His job actually massages it in a little bit better, but that's what he does. That's what he does.
I would love to talk to him about that. I think I would have so many questions, and honestly, you don't have to have that like that. I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but it's like if you love movies so much, you like dissecting them to this level, and if you're into the industry and you actually don't, you just work with them. You just work with movies. Then that's fine. But I gotta know your opinion. That's why I gotta know.
We have a whole. You're an editor. We gotta have a whole talk on the editing process. We're wrapping this up, but another one of my friends, she works in editing for mostly independent films. But when she edits, she doesn't even have the director in the room, and that to me blows my mind. Like you were taking a scalpel or maybe even a sledgehammer to this person's work of art. You don't want to know their opinion. She's just cutting shit out because it doesn't flow, or she's got some fucking shitty duration limit to get to.
That terrifies me, but I can see why they would do that, because a lot of my projects, and they're not film related,
the director would make it longer for sure. They'd be like, why you cut that, or why? Yeah, for sure.
It's like, no, go back to this other clip. Can you rearrange that? And then it's just like, no. I think my takeaway from M. Night Shyamalan at the end of this is that he's best on his own, with his own ideas, rather than and with a team that understands where he's coming from. That's where he shines brightest. And he definitely found that in Bruce Willis, McAvoy, Samuel L. Jackson. I'm trying to name some others. Well. Not in Mark Wahlberg.
William Hurt.
Will Smith. Yes, and William Hurt.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard for sure.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
These are not.
I loved those two.
These are not like small time actors, like at all, right?
That was the best I've seen Bryce Dallas Howard, in my opinion. Like, I should watch her in more movies, but that was definitely one of my top.
I gotta agree.
Nice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm trying to think of some before. I know I've seen. Oh, she was in the Matt Damon Alien sort of the replacement movie. She had like a small part in the beginning. Where they wear this hat, they go through these doors, and like the world is run by a nefarious group of aliens that change things. And it's fucking weird.
We'll talk about that movie next week. I'm curious, actually.
You're gonna find it. You're gonna put it like right here in the edit on the thing. Like it's on the tip of my tongue. Spit it out. Spit it. Anyway, thanks.
At the end.
Thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks so much for listening. I don't know how you found us, but please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and share, and leave comments down below or to our socials, and let us know what you think we should cover. If we have any opinions or if we've seen anything based on our movie preferences, do you think we would like certain things? I totally am open. We're just shooting the shit. We have no goal in mind but to waste your time.
I think we've accomplished that.
I think we did so too. Anything else for the stream, for the people at home?
I can't wait for the next one. You and I, no idea what celebrity, director, actor it's gonna be, but
should we do Tarantino? I feel like we should wait.
We did Tarantino.
Oh, we did Tarantino. That's right. What is the order of these being released? I have no idea.
I think it was, we coincidentally went with Tarantino first.
We should do Michael Bay.
I'll do that.
All right. I gotta sit through 5 more Transformers and Wahlberg.
I'm not. No, I ended it right before last night, and I'm not. I can't come back.
All right.
The robot testicle joke. We'll do Michael Bay.
All right.
Sweet.
Later, guys.
All right.
Just imagine getting Grant to laugh too hard, and it's just like spray at the camera and then just black.
That almost happened on the first episode.
I wish it did.
Just like,
And people say I'm Squirtle.
Oh my
Damn.
God.
Damn.
I got that on both levels.
Damn.